Good afternoon.
And welcome to Non-Focus. I'm your host, Matthew Stromer. Okay, bear with me on this, because this is a crazy idea. But I was thinking this the other day, and I can't be the only one that thinks this. But don't you think Grumpy Cat and Garfield would make a great couple? And here's another little tidbit. I don't know if you know this, but Grumpy Cat, in real life, is a girl. That's amazing. Why is it amazing? Oh, because I always assumed you were a boy cat. Well, that's interesting. Now I know what kind of person you are. What does that mean? Never mind. Garfield, what do you have to say? Leave me out of this. Hey, I bet you want some lasagna, huh? Oh.
I am Dr. Eric Bellamy, an obstetrician at St. Augustine General. 2 years ago, I had this crazy idea for a YouTube channel, and now it's a reality. At my hospital, twice a year and for 1 hour, I am granted by consenting parents personal interaction to conduct and film an unscripted conversation with their children between the ages of 7 to 10 days. Life is full of immense challenges and harsh realities, and not every parent wants or even knows how to fully explain the complexity of life to their children. I begin that process for them. This is the Cradle.
Welcome to the Cradle. Let's meet our infants. Gavin Ashley. Gavin was born 8 days ago, 6 pounds 3 ounces. Next to Gavin is Rebecca Dooney. She was born also 8 days ago, 7 pounds 2 ounces. This is a telephone, although this particular version does not exist anymore. What you will end up having is something called a cell phone, although by the time you're my age, it'll be something a little more advanced. This is a Barbie doll. This is a flag, a banner, with XOXO, stands for hugs and kisses. If somebody opts to give you this instead of a real hug and a kiss, they're not worth your time. It's called a baby monitor. This is the microphone. This will be next to your crib. It'll pick up your voice, which will broadcast to the speaker in your parents' room. And if you cry or something happens, they will hear it. If you cry, they will come to you. Remember that. If you cry, they will come to you. Every time. This is a corporation called McDonald's. They make food. Don't eat it, but if you're ever somewhere and it's your only option, you're going to have to eat it. This is a rat. I mean, it's basically just a pain. And there are just people that do not like this show. They do not like me. I've been getting death threats. I've been getting rocks thrown in my windows. I've been getting hate emails, hate phone calls, voicemail messages. I've had people show up at the hospital throwing bags of feces at me. But that's what happens when you try to tell the truth. You know? Okay, I think we're out of time.
Good afternoon, sir, and how can I be of assistance to you? I would like to buy a Porsche. Okay, what is your name? Gavin. Okay, Gavin. First question I need to ask you is, are you going through a midlife crisis? I only ask that because at least 40% of customers who want to purchase an expensive vehicle like this usually are. No, I don't think so. I just like the car. Okay, next question. Did you happen to see the used 54 Packard that's on the lot? I did, but I'd rather have something new, not old. Well, just because it's old doesn't mean it's a bad car. And like the Porsche, it is a chick magnet. And it's also less expensive. Well, thank you for the advice, but I want the Porsche. Very well. I only ask before we officially finalize and drop the paperwork that you at least take a half hour or so to decide for sure. What, in your waiting room? No. We have a special area here designated for people who are about to take on impulse buying decisions. I just told you. I know, but just to be sure. You understand? I guess. This is our sensory deprivation tank. State-of-the-art and absolutely safe. Here you can completely relax, distraction-free, and fully open your mind. I am convinced, after this, you will truly know what the right decision is for you. You'll just need to change into a bathing suit, which we will provide for you, as you will be floating in water filled with 850 pounds of Epsom salt. This is the strangest thing. Do all Porsche dealerships do this? This is the Samadhi Porsche dealership. Are you sure I can't convince you to purchase the used 54 packet?
No, I want the Porsche, but I will give it some serious thought.
That's all I ask. I'll be back in 30 minutes.
Remember, Gavin, don't invest in short-term happiness with expensive possessions. Invest in long-term friendships.
Are you sure I can't convince you to purchase the used 54 packet?
Son, if you spend your life savings on a car, it better be one worth dying in.
Yeah, there's a doctor here who has a YouTube show. You know, I bet if you tried, you could probably get your son on it.
Yeah, man, you're one of my best friends. We definitely need to hang out. Yeah, I tell you what, why don't you text me next week and we'll figure something out.
Yeah, I still want the Porsche.
Today's interview is with Richard Lessner. Richard has been in the financial consulting business for the last 15 years and is the co-author of a new book that just hit the bookshelves entitled The Roadmap to Financial Freedom. He is what they call a money doctor. It says here on the back that he has taught adult education financial planning at several Chicago area colleges, as well as appearing on Chicago radio stations and given seminars for numerous businesses and social groups. It is a pleasure to have him on the show. We've asked him to join us live from his home, and he is going to outline 5 simple steps to gaining your financial freedom back. Let's see if we can get him in. Richard, welcome to the show. Are you there?
Well, thank you for having me on the show. Today, I would like to present to you a way to get yourself out of debt. I have 5 techniques. 1. Pay off all your debts. See, people forget. The very simple basic one is if you owe somebody money, then guess what? They're going to come looking for you. The more you buy, the more you got to pay. See, it's not how you spend, it's how you buy. Because when you use plastic, people treat you like plastic. Number 2, and that's don't pay with credit cards, only pay with cash. You want to make a splash? Use cash. You want some cash? Here's some cash. Number 3. It's not how you spend, it's what you spend it
It's not even real money.
See, a lot of people don't realize when they spend, they don't know what they're buying. Why? Because they got credit cards and they figure, Now, this one is the most simplest, yet it's the trickiest of all. Number 4. Learn a trade. So if you don't learn a trade, then what are you going to do when you can't do anything? Because what if you got to make your own furniture? What if you got to make your own food? What if you got to cook your own food? Then what are you going to do? If you don't know a trade and all you know how to do is count and do paperwork, then you can't do anything. And all you're going to do is wander around in life and say, why am I in debt? I am the best example I could possibly think of as to why number 4 is so important with the trade. Why? Because I took up aerodynamics, right? 25 years ago, I created something that you would never, ever have figured because it's the biggest thing on the market today. Something you might have heard of called the fidget spinner. That was me. I created it 25 years ago in my garage, and I have proof.
I'm not so sure about that. I believe the person who invented that was a female.
No, I do. You don't believe me? No one believes me. Why doesn't anyone believe me? I have a tape from 25 years ago in my basement, VHS, recorded by my best friend Larry. I'll show you now. It'll take 4 seconds to upload. Look. Look at that, Larry. Look at that. Look at the degree and angle. Wow. It almost looks like a helicopter. Oh, yeah. It's called the fidget spinner. Okay? What? Fidget spinner. Fidget spinner. I created this cool thing called the fidget spinner. See?
Why do you call it a fidget spinner?
Why do you call it? Because it's just fidgety and it spins. Hey, I already told you I'm coming. What do you want? I'm busy right now, okay?
And here's a little piece called Terror and Hope.
Hope is sweet-minded and sweet-eyed. It draws pictures. It weaves fancies. It fills the future with delight. When you have lost hope, you have lost everything. When you think all is lost, when all is dire and bleak, there is always hope.
Let your hopes, not your hurts, shape your future.
As long as we have hope, we have direction, the energy to move, and the map to move by.
Hey, Derek. What's up, Keith? How are you? I'm good. Just doing some shopping. Hey, listen, I don't know if you heard this yet, but Gavin died last week. Some kind of freak accident. Oh my God. I was always trying to hang out with him, but he seems so busy. Yeah, well, the funeral's this Friday. Me and the guys are going. You coming? Done. I'll be there. Text me the details.
I am afraid of dying.
The hands of the clock keep on ticking. The past is gone, but it's just not sticking. But what can you do? Nothing. You have to keep going, living, doing, before the hands of the clock stop moving.
I am afraid of living. You've been watching Not in Focus.